Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. So I have here the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, and in today's video, I'm gonna do a comparison against the Honor Magic V3. I think this video is worth making because a lot of the people talk about the Pixel Fold right now. Most of them are in North America, I guess, and they don't have access to this phone. So they're just praising the Pixel 9 Pro Fold for a lot of basic things that honestly have been around in Chinese foldable phones for like 3 years. Like the fact that, oh, it feels like a normal phone when it's folded, stuff like that. But with that said though, there's still a lot to like with the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, including Gemini integration. And overall, there's like a very whimsical touch to the software. I will talk about all that soon. Let's take a look at the overall hardware first. The Pixel 9 Pro Fold improves a lot on the original Pixel Fold, but it still falls behind the Honor Magic V3 in almost every area. The Honor Magic V3 is thinner and lighter than the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. When you open up the screens, the crease on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is also a little bit more noticeable than on the Honor Magic V3. However, the Pixel Fold's main screen does have a higher maximum brightness, 2700 nits, compared to 1800 nits in the Honor Magic V3. When you fold up the phone, however, then the Honor Magic V3 just kind of wins everywhere. It's slightly higher res. It is a true LTPO panel, meaning the refresh rate can go between 1 to 120 Hertz. Whereas here, this is not a true LTPO panel on the outside, so you're stuck at either 120 or 60 Hertz. And if you look at the left side of the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, there's this relatively thick bezel that sticks out like half an inch, and it's quite an eyesore. Despite that though, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is still very comfortable to hold, and even though it is heavier, it's not too heavy. Like I can definitely daily drive this guy, have it in my pocket all day without any issues. I also really like the hinge. It is very well constructed, and this is where the Pixel 9 Pro Fold beats the Honor Magic V3. The hinge can stay open at more angles. Like I can open it up all the way like this, and it's fine. On the Honor Magic V3, if I open it up past like right here, it's gonna flop open. See, like it just kind of flops open. The V3 hinge just feels a little bit more loose and floppy. The Honor Magic V3, despite being thinner, also has a larger battery, 5150 mAh compared to the 4650 mAh here. And also the Honor Magic V3 charges much faster at 66 watt compared to 21 watt here. That's when it comes to camera hardware, the Magic V3 also wins in almost every area, at least on the spec sheet. I'm just talking about pure hardware now. The Honor Magic V3's cameras have larger sensors, higher megapixel counts, and also faster aperture. For example, the main camera, the Pixel Fold has a 48 megapixel half-inch sensor, f1.7 aperture. This guy has a 50 megapixel 1/1.5 inch sensor, so it's a larger sensor, and f1.6 aperture. Faster aperture and larger image sensor allows the camera to take in more light. And then when it comes to zoom lens, this is a 10 megapixel zoom lens with a 1/3.2 inch image sensor, so it's a tiny sensor. Whereas here, it's a 50 megapixel zoom lens, 1/2.5 inch. So this is not huge either, but it's larger than this guy. However, there's a lot more to camera performance than just hardware, because software processing plays a large part. And in fact, that is all Google is hinging on when it comes to cameras this year, because the camera hardware actually is exactly the same as the first Pixel Fold. It's just there's new Google software image processing. For the most part, for the main camera, if you're snapping photos just to post on Instagram, or if you're looking at it at like scale down size on a phone screen without zooming in, both cameras look really good, and I actually prefer the Pixel 9 Pro Fold's color signs a lot of time. Colors are more consistent, even though they're not actually accurate. This phone, just like all the other Pixel phones lately, has a tendency to cool the image down, like meaning instead of too yellow, it'll make it a little bit more blue. And I actually like that. I think it looks good to my eyes, but it's not accurate colors. The Honor Magic V3 actually has more accurate colors, but that's only if you're looking at images on Instagram or on a phone screen scaled down. If you zoom in on a phone screen, or worse yet, if you take it to a computer monitor and you blow it up, the pixel images are always noisier and softer on details than the Honor Magic V3's. Every single example, like when you zoom in, you just see a lot more fuzziness and blurriness to the shots. Honor Magic V3 is applying some pretty heavy digital sharpening algorithm, so maybe not everybody likes that. When it comes to zoom lens, if you have good lighting and you're just taking photos to post on Instagram, then once again, they're very much even, and I prefer the color science of the Pixel phones. But then when you pixel peep, then the superior hardware of the Magic V3 usually wins out again. When it comes to the ultra-wide camera, it's pretty much neck and neck. I mean, neither of these ultra-wides are amazing, but for a foldable phone, perfectly suitable. For selfie cameras though, this is where Pixel takes the win. Pixel's exposure is a lot more consistent than Honor's selfie cameras, and also it gets my skin tone a lot more accurately. You can tell American companies like Google and Apple, they put a lot more effort into making selfies appear more natural, whereas Asian phones just like to blow up everything and make it all bright and well lit. Now, so far, everything I've talked about is just for still photos. When you take still photos, you're giving the Pixel time to apply software processing to make up for the gap in hardware. But then when you move to video recording, it's a lot tougher for a phone to apply real-time software processing to videos. And this is where you see the Pixel Fold's video just completely falls apart in low light conditions. I think if you look at these low light samples, the Honor videos are just much better. It's more stable. You get better lighting and it's just more detailed all around. But this is low light. When you shoot during the daytime, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold's video performance is fine. So if you look at camera performance purely from a photographer or videographer's perspective, then the Honor Magic V3 is a little bit ahead than the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. But the Pixel 9 Pro Fold has a lot of special AI tricks that makes photos and videos fun after the fact. For example, for photos, you have generative AI eraser here. I mean, Honor has it too, but it's much faster and much more accurate on the Pixel than on Honor. You also have video enhance, which requires you to send the video to Google Clouds to then digitally upscale and improve details and all of that. For the most part, it's a little bit gimmicky to me to need to send a video to a server to process, but it's still a feature that the Pixel offers that you do not get from Honor. Now let's take a look at software. I might be in the minority in this because everybody else really just seems to love Pixel UI. I find Pixel UI to be a little bit restricting and bland. For example, I've complained about this all the time. There are two widgets on the home screen that cannot be removed. The Google search bar down here and the at a glance widget at the top. You cannot get rid of it. So there are two areas of the home screen that is completely blocked off. And then when it comes to multitasking, on a Pixel Fold, you can only do split screen. You cannot open apps in a resizable floating window. And that's very frustrating for me because what is the point of having a large screen if you still can't really multitask freely? I mean, you can run two apps at the same time locked to a static grid. You can adjust the sizes of the grid a little bit, but that is it. You can just multitask so much easier on the Honor Magic V3 or the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 because you can open apps in a floating window. You can move that window around. You can make the window larger, smaller, or minimize it completely and then jump back to it a couple of seconds later. Like, there's no argument. I know Pixel fans are going to be like, oh, split screen multitasking is perfectly fine. No, it is not. If you have to open two documents and cross-check references all the time like I do, being able to open an app in a floating window that you can move around the screen is just much better than split screen. There is no argument to be made that split screen is better than the floating window. And plus, you can still do split screen on the Honor Magic V3. So you simply have more options to multitask here than on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. However, there are other whimsical touches to the Pixel software that I really like. A lot of these are not new. I've talked about it. I really like Now Playing. So when I'm at a coffee shop and they play a song that I think sounds good, but I don't know what it is, I can look at my Pixel Fold and it will tell me the song title on the always on display. I love that. And also some UI elements are more polished on the Pixel Fold. Like for example, if you look at the notification panel, when you swipe down, the notification is on one side of the screen, whereas the toggles are on the other side. Whereas on the Honor Magic V3, the notification shade just looks completely stretched out across the whole screen. It doesn't look optimized for this wider display. But overall though, there's still a lot to like with Pixel UI, like all the aforementioned AI features. I think having Gemini baked into the whole phone is awesome. And I really like Pixel Studio, which allows you to create an original artwork or illustration with just a couple of voice prompts. So there's a lot of Pixel specific stuff that's fun, but then when you look at purely hardware, this guy is just a little bit ahead. So yeah, that's about it for this head-to-head comparison. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing to my channel. It would help me a lot. Thanks for watching.